Hello to everybody. I am Angie Pinto Valencia. I am a student from the UNAD University. I am studying English as a foreign language. Today I am going to talk to you about prepositions of place. What are the prepositions of place? We can find at, in, on. Today we are going to study only them. Let's look at the meaning. In, used to indicate inclusion within a space, a place, or limits. On, so as to be or remain supported by or suspended from. At, used to indicate a point or place occupied in a space. As we can see on the picture, the positions for on, in, at. Let's take a look at the rules. When to use the prepositions in, on, at. Let's begin with in. Number 1, use in with the spaces. Example, in a room, in a building, in a garden, in a park. Next one, use in with bodies of water. Example, in the water, in the sea, in a river. Number 3, use in with lines. In a row, in a line, in a queue. Now, when to use on. Number 1, use on with surfaces. Examples, on the ceiling, on the wall, on the floor, on the table. Number 2, use on with the small islands. Example, I stay on Maui. Number 3, use on with directions. On the left, on the right, straight on. Now let's look the use for at. Number 1, use at with places. At the bus stop, at the door, at the cinema, at the end of the street. Number 2, use at with places on a page. Example, at the top of the page, at the bottom of the page. Number 3, use at in groups of people. Example, at the back of the class, at the front of the class. So here are some of the rules. There are more, but here these are the most important for you to understand in today's lesson. After we study the rules, we are going to see some examples. So at, remember that we use at as a point of reference. Examples, at the corner, at the bus stop, at the door, at the top of the page, at the end of the road, at the entrance, at the crossroads, at the front desk. Now let's see in. Remember that this is for enclosed space. In the garden, in London, in France, in a box, in my pocket, in my wallet, in a building, in a car. Now let's look when to use on. It's for surface, remember. On the wall, on the ceiling, on the door, on the cover, on the floor, on the carpets, on the menu, on a page. These examples are the most standard phrases where we can find the preposition of place at, in, on. After we have studied the meaning, the rules, and we have seen some examples, let's try some exercises. So let's take a look at these images, and I will give you some minutes so you can think what are the possible answers when to put in, on, at. So I will give you 1 minute, or maybe 2, to try to answer these exercises. I think you already had enough time. So let's read the answers. Number 1, he's at the restaurant. Cozy is a point of reference. We use at. He's at home is a point of reference. This is why we use at. He's in the kitchen, enclosed space. He puts plates on the tables, so on a surface. She's at the office is a point of reference. The clothes are in the closet is what describing what is enclosed spaces. She is lying in bed is an enclosed space. There is 1 candle on the cakes is over a surface. So I hope you learned a lot of things today, and then you got to write all the exercises. Remember that today we studied the prepositions of places at, in, on. So I hope you learned a lot, and see you next time. Bye-bye.